Yo, what the fuck is going down, everybody? It's your boy, Sauceman X, checking back at you niggas with another goddamn video today. But anyways, man, we're back with another political video with this goddamn bitch. And you already see this shit by the title. So this video is obviously going to be about the coronavirus pandemic and obviously some updates on the coronavirus. And we already know that there's a lot of shit to talk about in this video. Now, firstly, we already know that we have a lot of people on the left, okay? A lot of people, you know, a lot of leftist fucking liberals who are trying to blame Donald Trump for actually implementing or actually trying to do the things that he's actually doing, the decisive action that he's taken. But, you know what I'm saying? They still want to pretend like he's not taking any decisive action, even though he is. But we're know that people are trying to make it seem like, you know, we should just keep this country locked down for like months on end, and just no matter how, you know, better the coronavirus gets, we should just take absolutely no action to reopen the economy. We should take absolutely no action to actually bring people back to, you know what I'm saying, back to their fucking jobs and continue to make money, reopening businesses. We should just have absolutely nothing to do with that. But we already know that people on the left, you know what I'm saying, for the most part, they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about, and they're basically going against everything Trump is trying to do to actually help this country get back together economically, because it's a legitimate reason to actually do it right now. So we already know. Okay, we literally already know during this coronavirus pandemic, obviously yesterday was obviously the biggest fucking news, and I have a lot of shit to talk about in this video, but we already know the biggest fucking news in the coronavirus pandemic is obviously what Donald Trump did yesterday in terms of him actually trying to release guidelines to actually help this country get out of the coronavirus pandemic, and we already know that he's going to do it state by state, and obviously the main parts about it is that there's obviously has 3 stages, okay? He obviously has 3 stages for each state to meet up to. If they already meet up to phase 1, which a lot of states have already met up to phase 1 based on their statistics within the past few weeks, you know what I'm saying? They're already in phase 1, which means they can like slowly get rid of the whole coronavirus stay-at-home order, and you know what I'm saying, bring people out more, you know what I'm saying, bring some people back to work, and you know what I'm saying, you know, help people who are, you know, need surgeries in hospitals, basic shit like that, and still practicing social distancing and good hygiene, obviously. And you know what I'm saying? It's like basically a legitimate plan to gradually bring each state in this country back, you know what I'm saying, into, you know what I'm saying, bring back the economy, open back businesses up, and have people continue to make money, you know what I'm saying, amidst this coronavirus pandemic, and deal with all the problems that we're dealing with economically, you know what I'm saying, because it's time to reopen the fucking country at this point. And we already know that obviously you have a lot of people on the fucking left, okay? You have a lot of fucking liberals who are basically, you know what I'm saying, working against everything that Donald Trump is trying to stand for, just because they're against Donald Trump and they want to hurt his re-election chances, which I'll bring up more of that shit later in the goddamn video. But we already know that, you know what I'm saying, they're basically making absolutely no fucking sense. But we already know that if they actually look at the statistics, okay? Because you have a lot of leftist liberals saying that, oh, if you try to reopen states, try to reopen the country, look at all these new cases, you know what I'm saying, there's going to be so many people with the fucking coronavirus case, and you know what I'm saying, and everyone's going to get infected again, it's going to reach a new peak. There's, you know what I'm saying, if you actually look at the statistics, you actually look at the facts, which a lot of people on the left don't do, is that if you actually look at the statistics, there is no indication that regardless of what we do, okay, unless we completely reopen the country, which is not going to happen, it's going to go, you know what I'm saying, phase and phases, you know, go through 3 phases. But we already know that states that actually, you know, meet up to the requirements of the first phase, there's no indication in terms of what they're actually going to do, as I just explained, that it's actually going to lead up to another fucking coronavirus, you know, have the coronavirus pandemic be worse than it obviously is. Because we already know, according to the actual statistics, last week, okay, we already fucking knew this shit. Last week was the peak. Okay, last week, according to actual people who actually look at the statistics and look at the facts and evidence, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Which they actually work with Donald Trump to actually create this coronavirus, you know, guideline, but people are somehow, you know, against it. So we already know that, you know, basically last week was the, you know what I'm saying, the peak. Okay, it was literally the fucking peak, the coronavirus peak, where where we saw the most deaths, okay, the most fucking, you know, coronavirus cases as of last week, okay, based on what we were doing. And obviously right now is obviously we flattened the curve, which is what Trump has been talking about for the past few weeks, that we literally just flattened the fucking curve, and now there's not as much of a, you know, it's not as much of an issue as it was last week, okay? Last week there was more deaths, right now there's less deaths. So it would make sense that in certain states, and that's one of the main points of the fucking video, that in certain fucking states, you know what I'm saying, you actually try to slowly reopen the country. You know what I'm saying? States like Texas, you know what I'm saying? That, okay, you know what I'm saying? In Texas, you know what I'm saying? There's not as many cases, second least cases in the entire United States. States like Oklahoma, some other states that are not really affected by the coronavirus pandemic, it would make sense to slowly and gradually reopen the fucking country. But for some weird reason, okay, for some weird reason, people on the left are just completely against it, and they just think that it's the worst thing you can possibly do with absolutely no fucking evidence. So we already know. And there's already been, you know, states that actually met up to phase 1, which is obviously going, you know what I'm saying, go more than 7 days without an increase of coronavirus cases. There's already states that go up to phase 1, and it basically means that people that are at high risk of getting the coronavirus can't leave their fucking house, but the people that can leave their fucking house essentially have to continue to practice social distancing, and they can go to more places than they were before. That's basically all it is in phase 1. And then once you actually reach the phase 1, okay, analyzing the entire thing, when you actually reach into phase 1, and you know what I'm saying, people are going out a lot more, people are doing more non-essential travel, there's less people, okay? There's still less coronavirus cases. There's still a decline in coronavirus cases. Then that would still, okay, that means you go into phase 2, so it's clear that phase 1 works, and then, you know what I'm saying, it just goes on and on where you slowly reopen the entire, you know what I'm saying, the entire fucking state economically. So one of the main things is that why would people on the left, okay, basically be against, logically and rationally, trying to reopen fucking states to help the economy and help people get back to work and, you know what I'm saying, make, you know what I'm saying, the quality of people's lives actually improve, since obviously a lot of people want to leave their house and obviously a lot of people want to get back to work. What's wrong with actually trying to do that? Okay, under, you know what I'm saying, specific, you know what I'm saying, circumstances with a lot of regulation behind it. What's the fucking, okay, why would we want to continue to keep the country closed? Which leads me on to my next fucking point is that, you know what I'm saying, Donald Trump is still doing his thing, making the correct decisions, in my opinion, to actually try to reopen the country. But you have people on the left who essentially don't want the country to reopen at all and wants us to continue to be in lockdown. And obviously leads me on to my main point, but the next point is that they want to fearmonger, okay? That's one of the main things. They literally just want to fearmonger people. They want people to be afraid, you know what I'm saying, of leaving their fucking house just so they can try to convince people to stay home, okay? Literally convince people to stay home and be against everything that Donald Trump is trying to do and try to hurt his re-election chances. Because we already know, okay, is that, and this has actually been going on in politics within the past few weeks, but we already know that there's a lot of Democrats who want to actually change the entire fucking voting system, okay? They want to change the entire fucking voting system to, what was it called? They want people to do mail-in voting, okay? They actually want people to do mail-in voting, you know what I'm saying, all the way up until November, and they actually want to implement it right now. And that basically tells you that they literally just want to steal the election, because we already know mail-in voting is not a good way to actually conduct any fucking votes. High susceptibility to, you know, election fraud, high susceptibility of people, you know what I'm saying, voting that shouldn't be voting, and high susceptibility, like, it's not, there's absolutely little regulation to actually, to any of it, and there's no reason to actually do any mail-in voting. It literally just makes no fucking sense. But we already know that Democrats want to implement that because they want to steal the election. They know they can steal the election like that, which perfectly explains, you know what I'm saying, since last month, okay, back in March, they wanted to implement mail-in voting just, you know what I'm saying, when they don't even know what's going to happen within the next fucking 8 months, okay, but they still wanted to do mail-in voting. They wanted to make it official. They wanted to be, you know what I'm saying, actually implemented into law just so they can try to steal the election. So we have Democrats, okay, we have people on the left who are going to be against everything that is best for this country right now, okay, in terms of him just wanting to reopen the economy, in terms of him actually wanting to, you know, bring this fucking country back to work, because they know that it's going to hurt their re-election chances. Because we already know once this economy opens again, and you best believe, okay, when this economy reopens again, we are going to see the greatest economy, okay? The economy is going to be even greater than it was before the coronavirus pandemic, and even then it was already the greatest economy in the history of this entire world. So it's going to be even better, okay? The economy is just going to be even better. You know what I'm saying? And they know that that's going to lead to, you know what I'm saying, Donald Trump's re-election. So they would rather see more chaos and more fear-mongering, which is why the left is against, you know what I'm saying, gradually reopening, you know, each state, because they want to fear-monger you to actually, you know what I'm saying, it's like they actually don't want this economy to open again. They want people to continue to struggle, and they want people to be afraid of the coronavirus, and they want to prolong people being afraid of the coronavirus and the coronavirus itself, just so they can use that as rhetoric to blame Donald Trump. So what Donald Trump is doing right now to try to reopen the country is obviously precise, okay? It's backed by actual professionals, and it makes fucking sense, okay? It makes sense, a great way to try to, you know, reopen the economy, reopen the fucking, you know what I'm saying, reopen the state. It makes perfect fucking sense, because we're already statistically proven, already seeing an actual decline. So obviously, you know what I'm saying, people on the left are against it because they would rather see more chaos just so they can make just so they can try to make sure Trump isn't reelected, and they're trying to implement voter fraud, okay? They're literally trying to implement voter fraud, you know what I'm saying, in, what was it? Mail-in voting, okay? They want to actually implement mail-in voting, which is absolutely terrible for this fucking country, and they fucking know that shit. They don't want him to get reelected, which leads me on to my next point, okay, is that you once again, okay, another fucking update of the coronavirus, and once again, is that you have the Democratic Party still doing absolutely nothing to try to help the coronavirus pandemic. And then it's actually been confirmed, okay, that there's actually Donald Trump and people in the White House are trying to actually pass certain bills, pass certain things to try to help small businesses with this kind of, which is what this whole point of why Trump is trying to reopen the shit economy, you know what I'm saying, as soon as possible. Since statistics are on his side, and since a lot of small businesses need to get back to work. A lot of people need to continue to actually, make their money, sustain the life that they have. But Democrats actually don't give a fuck about the economy or the coronavirus itself, as I explained in my latest videos. And we already know that you have Nancy Pelosi, okay? You literally have fucking Nancy Pelosi blocking more and more and more fucking bills that will actually help small businesses during this pandemic, okay? Trying to fucking block certain bills, that's going on during this fucking pandemic, just blocking every single thing that can help this country just so she can make Donald Trump look bad. And it's already been confirmed once again that after Donald Trump banned travel from China, another fucking thing that I was going to, get into is that when Donald Trump was actually banning travel from China, actually taking decisive action, meanwhile, Nancy Pelosi was literally in fucking California, whatever fucking district she's in. She's basically over there trying to convince people to gather in large crowds. Like, it was literally the craziest shit. Like, she's like, oh, everyone needs to come to Chinatown and, and get the fucking coronavirus. While, the coronavirus pandemic was continuing to rise and after Trump actually took decisive action. So Democrats are continuing to not do anything, try to implement voter fraud while completely discrediting Donald Trump's legitimate fucking actions to actually try to reopen the economy, and it literally makes absolutely no sense. And people on the left, they just want what's worse for this country. That's why you have the media, that's why you have, the left, vilifying Donald Trump for what he's doing, is trying to reopen the economy for legitimate reasons based on the coronavirus cases and the decline of coronavirus cases, and it all varies between state to state, and we'll see what happens in the future. But we already know that the coronavirus is declining, but they would rather see you, even more fearful, so they can continue to fearmonger you just for political power and just so you can make Donald Trump look bad. So that's that stuff, crazy fucking shit, okay? A lot of shit I brought up, lots of fucking crazy fucking shit going on in the left. Facts are not on their side. Basic logic is not on their side. They're against what we should do with this country right now. They're against what's best for this country right now, economically and for everyone. They literally don't want the economy to reopen just to, make it seem like you won't win. Because we already know that if if that actually happens, where the coronavirus pandemic ends and the economy, booms basically, and gets higher than ever, they know Trump's going to get reelected. Even we already knew he was going to get reelected, but even more of a fucking reason for him to get reelected, and they want to blame him for absolutely no reason. So we already know that, that's basically it. And also another thing that I was going to get into is people, okay, the actual, negatives of stay-at-home orders. So we already know that, I believe in Virginia or in some other fucking states or whatever, people are actually protesting, okay? People are actually protesting, and me personally, during this point in time, it depends on the state, it depends on the coronavirus cases. I wouldn't be fucking protesting, obviously, But there's people who are actually fucking protesting. But apparently there was a stay-at-home order, stay-at-home order in Virginia or in some other fucking state where they're basically prohibiting protesters, okay? They're prohibiting people from protesting, and they're trying to kick people out. I don't know if anyone got arrested, but they might have, I don't know. But there's a lot of people, who are prohibited, okay? The fucking, National Guard or, police officers are basically just prohibiting people from protesting. And that's actually a legitimate problem, okay? During a stay-at-home order, that actually might be a legitimate problem, because at the end of the day, it is the First Amendment right to actually protest, okay? It's literally a First Amendment right to protest, but people are protesting the stay-at-home orders, but they're actually, It's like, well, there's actually law enforcement involved with that shit. So hopefully that doesn't get any bigger than it is now, because we know Virginia's gun rights has also been trying to get restricted. So, something's going on with Virginia, in terms of the First Amendment and the Second Amendment, but we need to protect the fucking Constitution. It is a constitutional problem to say, even during this fucking time, that you are not allowed to protest. But, during a time in the day where people are allowed to leave their fucking house, whether that be for essential or non-essential travel. So, we already know that, they're trying to, low-key kind of violate people's First Amendment rights, so it might actually turn into something worse. Hopefully, that's not a legitimate fucking problem. So, anyways, we already know that it's literally some crazy shit, and there's even people who are protesting, drive-in protests, literally in their car protesting, and law enforcement is still trying to get involved, so the First Amendment does matter. The Constitution still does matter during times like this. So it's literally fucking crazy. So we already know. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Just shit. Lots of crazy shit going on. Anyways, it's your boy, Sauceman. Next, I'm checking the fucking out of your peace.